Welcome everyone to Feature Fridays. Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm co-founder of Uplifter, and today we have Garrett Trott, our product expert. So
Hello.
hello, welcome to our special Good Friday edition of Feature Friday. Today we are going to spend a few minutes to talk about complex content templates, but we won't take up too much of your time because last I heard the Easter Bunny is actually an essential service and he's supposed to be showing up sometime this weekend. So I want to make sure that Garrett has enough time to run around his apartment and find all of the chocolate eggs. I hid them. You know
Did
that,
you
right?
did you break in? That's
Yes.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Just watch where you sit when you're
Oh, okay.
gaming tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Hello, everyone,
You're
and
welcome.
welcome. Today, as Jackie noted, we're going to be looking at complex content templates. That name is a bit of a misnomer and a little bit misleading. Complex may not be the word. Essentially, out of all of the page templates that we have, there are a few that are a little bit more complex than the others. So we're going to be taking a look at those two. They are the hero banner, as we are seeing right here, and the scrolling carousel banner, as we see right here. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to utilize these to your advantage, as well as play around with some of the more unique elements of them, which actually involves a little bit of code stuff. So don't worry, we won't dive too deeply into code. If you're not into that sort of stuff, that's totally okay. We'll be walking through how to find what you need very fast and very easy today. So to begin, we're going to look at this hero shoutout here. This is essentially an image in the background with a darker area here with the text, and you can have a button, etc. These, and like any template, these can be accessed by editing the section you're working with and selecting this icon right here, which is Insert Template. So why don't we take a look at a brand new section. We're going to copy this, and I'm going to clear out everything that's in here presently. So now we've got a brand new section. Now this could be anywhere on your Uplifter site. This could be on your home page or any other page that you've created, and you're editing any section within that. You're going to see this same toolbar here. We're going to select this Insert Template icon, and we're going to choose from this drop down here whatever option we want. Now what we want is the Hero Center overlay, and this will give us that background image with that overlay option for us. So all we need to do is select that from the drop down and click OK. And now our template is in place. Now, if you've worked with any of the templates previously, you're probably pretty familiar, or if you've worked with any of the content editing on the site, you're probably familiar with that as well. You can just essentially highlight the words that you want, and you can enter in the new text or the new button text or links or what have you. So we're not going to talk too deeply about editing this information. What we want to do is change the image in the background. Now, if you've changed or worked with images previously with Uplifter, very often it's just you click on the image and then you select the image that you want, or you place your cursor in the specific spot and you enter in your image, whatever you need to do. But in this particular instance, we actually don't have access. We can't click on the image in the backgrounds. I'm trying to click here, can't do it. So how do we access this and how do we update this? Well, first and foremost, what you'll want to do is determine what image should go here. And once you have the image selected, it's on your computer, but it's not yet in Uplifter, you'll want to select this image icon right here in the toolbar, and you'll want to upload the file. Now, I've already done this in advance, and you can see I have plenty of images to choose from. In this particular instance, I'm going to use this camera one here. We can see that up in the top right. I'm going to use this again just for our purposes today. Now, if I wanted to, I can select this and I can insert image, but this actually isn't going to accomplish what we want it to do. When I click insert image, it doesn't look very good. It's actually inserting into the overlay, and that's not what we want. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to select that image icon again, and we're going to go to our images tab and find the image that we want. And again, if you haven't done so, you can upload your image. We're going to find the image that we want, and we're going to right click it. So that's right click on your mouse. Now, depending on the browser that you're using, you're going to see some different options here, and there might be some slight variations on wording, but essentially what you're looking for is copy image location. Now, you can copy that image location. It might be a little bit slightly different wording, but once you've copied that, the system's going to automatically copy to your system clipboard the location of this image. And now that we have that, we can actually close this window. What we'll want to do instead is we want to pop into the source code now. Now again, If you're not comfortable with code, don't worry. We're looking for something very specific, so you don't need to know any of this stuff here. This can all be complete gibberish. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. That's totally fine. What you need to do is do a very quick scan and look for this wording right here, background image. Now, when you see background image, you'll also see a URL. You can essentially ignore that, that wording at least. But what you want to do is find the bracket and then the single quote. So that combination right there, and that's where you want to start your cursor. And you want to follow along the text that's presently there all the way to the next quote, single quote there. You want to remove what's there presently. So you'll see URL, open bracket, quote, quote, close bracket. And you want to paste in between those two quotes the image location that we just copied. So Control V in this instance, or you can right click and paste if you'd like to do that instead. And now what we can see is we have the URL in place where the previous image URL previously was. So now on the left-hand side here, you can see image goes here. And that background image is just a gray placeholder image. And that's what that URL was previously. We've removed that and replaced it. And now that we have, when we click OK, this image goes here and the background is going to go away. And now we have that nice camera image there. So now we have that background image that we like. We can now work with the information directly here in terms of the title and the text and the button. And now we have a nice clean image to utilize for our site. And as you can see, looks very, very nice, and it's a great way to sort of highlight and articulate some of the different options that you have on your page. So that is option number one there. Now, just as a quick side note, if you are looking for an image here, and if you're using like Internet Explorer or Edge, you may not actually see this copy link location here, and that's totally fine. If you don't see, or sorry, my apologies, copy image location. If you don't happen to see that, what you can do is you can open link in a new tab. And what that'll do is open the image in a new tab for you, and the URL will be provided for you. And you can actually just copy that instead. So you don't have to right-click, copy image location. You can instead open link in a new tab and copy it from there. So that is the hero overlay. So if you have any questions or concerns about that, or if you're stumbling on any points of that, please give us a shout. That's no problem. We're always here and happy to help out. For the next piece, however, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. We are going to move along to this banner image. Now, if we want to introduce this banner image to our site, which of course is what we're here for, we're going to want to use that template option again. And I'm going to clear out what we've got presently. Get out of there. So we've got nothing there. So we're going to use that template again. So insert template, and this allows us once more to select from the template dropdown to choose the template that we want. In this instance, we're going to use the banner slider, also known as a carousel in some instances. Banner slider, we can see there's an example right here, and we're going to click OK. Now this is quite a large image right out of the gate. What you'll want to do is have a series of images, at least two, to have make use of the carousel, but you want to have a series of images that are all relatively the same size. In fact, having them identically sized is definitely preferential. When you have those images in place, of course, you can then upload them into your system using the image icon here and using the browse to search for and upload those images. Now, once those images are in your system, there's a couple of things that you can do. Let's talk about probably the easiest way to go about this. First and foremost, you can click once on the image that you want to work with. So banner slider 1, I clicked it, and now it's blue. Once it's blue like this, don't worry if it changes to the next thing. That's totally fine. You've clicked image number 1, and that's it. Once you've clicked on image number 1, you can now go to the image icon here in the toolbar, and you can go to the images tab, and or if you need to, you can upload your images here. And then you go to your images tab and you find the image that you want to upload. Let's say it's these creepy eyes here. Let's do that. Boop, and there we go. So now image number 1, because that's what we highlighted, is now our eyes, and image number 2, 3, etc. are our templates. So we can continue to do that. Click once on the image you want to replace to highlight it in blue, select the image option here, and upload and or find your desired image to insert it. So let's say we're going to do this one, insert, and there we go. Easy peasy. But you might be asking yourself, okay, that's great, and I can do that for image 1, 2, and 3, but what happens when I want to insert image number 4? Well, that's where we need to sort of play around with the HTML a little bit, the text, and the source code. Now, this is going to be a little bit more advanced than our previous instance, but we're going to still keep it simple. So we're going to click source code. Now, in the source code, we're going to see a lot of gibberish. Don't get too overwhelmed by this. What we want is to find LIs. So you're going to see LIs in quite a few different places. Let me zoom in here just to make sure. What I find is usually easiest is anytime you see these type of brackets here, these less than, greater than options. So right here, for instance, just hit enter to split them, like that. So anytime you see them paired, split them. So essentially what we're looking at is HTML. And if you're not familiar with HTML, it relies on opening and closing tags. So an open tag will look like this, where you have, for instance, a div or an li or something like that. The names aren't really important. But then you'll also have a closing tag, which has a slash and then the same name. So what we're going to look for is that same li option here, and that's going to be a list item. And we want the very last instance of it. So we're going to go right to the bottom. And from the bottom, we'll start scaling up all of this text until we find that closing tag. So /li, perfect. And then we're going to scale up this text, going to scan through it, and we're going to find the opening version of that. So this is one of our banners. So we're just going to copy that text, and we're going to make a space after the closing tag and paste it. So we want to find an opening li all the way down to the close li and copy that entirety of that text and paste it in. So when we do that, what we're going to see is now we have this was banner 2. And then we have, banner 1, banner 2, banner 3, and then banner 3 again, because we copied our last banner. So now we have 2 instances of banner 3. And now we can do that same thing before, where we go to the image, we click on it once, we choose the image icon here, and we upload the image that we want to insert. Now, that's not the cleanest way of interacting with things, and we definitely recognize that. We will be working on some tools to allow a much cleaner, more intuitive user interface so that you don't have to work with this sort of stuff. You don't have to work with the HTML. So that is coming down the road, so we definitely appreciate your patience with that. And of course, like anything else with this, if you do have troubles or you're just like, I don't even want to get started with that stuff, that's no problem. Just give us a shout. We can definitely help you out with that, and we can make sure that the slider looks and acts exactly how you want to, and make sure that your site looks great. Jackie, anything you'd like to add today?
Only thing I'd like to add is that I know that as somebody who does write code, I was always reluctant when we launched this tool and told people, oh, just click on the source code button and start editing the source code. I'm like, we're just going to let them edit the source code? Are they going to be okay? Are they going to be okay? But I have to say I have been amazed and just inspired by what a lot of our clubs have been able to do with our templates. We know that we're pushing the boundaries and wanting to actually add more features to make it easier for everybody to use, but we are finding that with the great instructions that Garrett and the team have put together, both in the Learning Center and through these videos, a lot of our clubs are able to take what we've got and figure out how to make really lovely sites, and with very little information or very little experience with respect to very little experience with respect to HTML coding. And as we mentioned, if you get stuck along the way, please email us at support@upliftering.com. We can take a look at what you've done and clean that up. So, and one of the great things too with Uplifter is that you can actually hide these pages. So if you want to experiment a little bit, play with these features, hide them, and before you actually publish the page, you can certainly do that. One other note too is that the content management tools and the content templates are only available on our silver, bronze, and enterprise levels of Uplifter. Or sorry, silver, gold. I'm waiting for you to correct me, Garrett. Silver, gold, and enterprise levels. Our bronze level does not have these features, but very easy for you to upgrade up to our silver or gold tiers in order to leverage these features. So we've tried to make this as accessible as possible for a lot of our clubs. So if you have any other questions, please feel free, as always, to contact us at support@uplifterinc.com. What are we talking about next week after we have eaten all of our Easter chocolate?
I don't know if I'll be able to talk after that, but that's a
How
really good
much Easter
question.
chocolate are you going to
Just, I
eat?
don't know. How much did you put in my apartment?
I guess you'll find out this weekend.
I guess we will. I think next week is going to be HTML products and custom pages. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to introduce sort of custom, unique, buy now buttons. So things like shop now, where you can actually create unique pages for the products and programs that you sell. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about how to make package purchase products. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a thing. Yeah, that was English, right?
yeah.
And we talk about that. So we're going to sort of build on our knowledge with those. So definitely check out those two videos because they will work on top of one another very, very well in terms of their knowledge base. And thank you everyone so much for joining us. We hope that you are happy and healthy. And thank you very much for your time today.
Take care. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.